Hello and welcome, Scent Siblings. It's me, Yulia Graham. I know I look a little bit different, but this is still ScentSiblingsDotC.A. And the .ca still stands for Canada, and the Scent Sibling still stands for you, my wonderful Scent sister and Scent brother and non-binary Scent sibling. I'm coming to you from my home instead of from my place of work, and so things look a little bit different. And I was just, I was doing laundry and baking and cooking and cleaning, and so I thought I would do my nails and put a full face of makeup on. I even did my hair, but it's in such a state. Today, I would like to bring to you my top 10 wish list of things that I would love to smell. And so I'm doing this for a reason, and the person who knows the reason, hello to you, and thank you for giving me this idea. I won't say any more. If you're interested in the 10 things that I would like to smell most, keep watching. Here we are. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm doing laundry and all the wonderful things that I love to do, cleaning and cooking and baking. Well, not so much cooking and baking today. That was yesterday. And so I thought I would put a full face of makeup on, complete with false eyelashes. Can you see that? And I even did my hair. But today I am going to talk about the 10 perfumes that I would love to try. And as I do so, I'm going to use the name of the scent to tell you a tiny little bit of something about me that you might not know. A big shout out to Perfume d'Yves. I'm going to leave her Instagram below. She is the reason for this particular video, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for your support. So I'm not going to drag this out much further. The very first one is Zadig Voltaire. This is Her. So people say that it's creamy and lovely. I'll put a picture somewhere. And it just sounds intriguing to me. I want something warm at night, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I want to know what you think. I'll think of these things because you know it's all about me. So Zadig Voltaire, and the one thing, and this is Her is the name of the scent. So the one thing to tell you about myself, just to begin, my name is Yulia, and my pronouns are she and her. That's not something you wouldn't have known. However, I do kind of look like a man in drag, let's face it. So this is Her, the bit about me you'd might want to know. My pronouns are she and her. The second one is, the second scent that I would love to get my sniffer on is the Elena La Rose. Delina was my gateway niche scent, and that is not anything personal about me. So let me tell you something personal about me. The word rosé makes me think of wine, and I drink wine. But the reason that I drink wine is because I'm too lazy to pour myself a whiskey. I actually prefer whiskey. I love a nice aged, like a Jack Daniels or whatever, but I don't like it straight. I like to mix things up. Anyway, I'm just too lazy to actually pour myself a drink, and so I drink wine because you just have to pour it. That's where we're at, folks. That's how lazy I am. So, but I only drink one type of wine. I only drink white Sauvignon Blanc from the Marlborough region of New Zealand. These are 10 facts about me, and that was Elena La Rose. The third scent on my list is Lancome La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. That's a long name. I'm just intrigued by it. People talk about the La Nuit Trésor line, all of the flankers and everything, and they say that it's amazing. And I feel like I've had my nose on it at one time, but it was before I understood anything. I only understand a little bit now, but it was before I understood anything. And so it confused me, and I would love to get my nose on some of that. So the tiny little thing about me, about La Nuit, is that as a kid, and then as a teenager and then as a young woman, my parents wanted to take very, very good care of us. And my dad would always say, Yuli, good girls don't go out at 6 o'clock. They come home at 6 o'clock. He sounds Russian. He's not. And so I was never allowed out of the house after, like, say 5 o'clock. If I wanted to go out for the evening, I would have to tell my parents that I was going to my friend Tanya's house, which I was, you know, but I would dress like a normal person. And then when I got to Tanya's house, I would change. And so then we would go out and then I would stay at her house. So that's a little bit about La Nuit to me. The third one is Byredo Gypsy water. And everybody talks about this and it sounds lovely and the packaging looks lovely. And so I'm intrigued altogether by something called Byredo Gypsy water. And the little thing about me that you might want to know about water is that I go in and out of, anybody who knows me, if you know me, you're watching this, you're like, she's going to say the thing about the bath, right? So I love a bath. I live in the bath. Although we live on a lake, I never go into the lake water, although the lake water is in my tub. The next one is also by Byredo, and it is Mojave Ghost. And first of all, I just love the idea of something called Mojave Ghost, and the flowers from the desert are what gives this scent its special characteristic, and that just sounds so very romantic to me. The personal thing about me when it comes to Mojave Ghost, the name of that scent, is that I don't think that I believe in ghosts per se, but I do believe that there is a lot more going on in the universe, in time and space, than we can have access to, than our brains could even really actually process. So while I don't believe in ghosts per se, I don't not believe in ghosts and anything else in that vein. So Byredo Mojave Ghost. The next one we're going to talk about is Mask Milano Russian Tea. This sounds so wonderful to me. All of the notes in this, I love the idea of something that smells like tea. So that's one of the things on my wish list. And I'll tell you a tiny, tiny little thing about myself based on the name Russian tea. My family emigrated to Canada from the former Yugoslavia. Thank goodness my father always kept speaking Serbian to us. His native tongue isn't Serbian, but that's not part of this. So he kept us speaking Serbian. So now I can get by. I won't die if I'm in one of those Baltic countries where they speak Serbian, Croatian. Slovak is a little bit harder, but regardless. The Russian part of this is that those languages are all very similar, and I have the dubious distinction. Watching a Russian film, if I listen very, very carefully, I can make out enough to get by. I wouldn't be able to speak Russian, but I would be able to understand it. So that's Russian tea. The next one is, I want to say it's number 7. And it is Creed Aventis For Her. Why do I want to smell that? Who doesn't want to smell that? It just, everybody talks about the Creed house, and so it's something that I would love to get my nose on. And so the little thing about me and Creed Aventis For Her. So Creed, I play video games. My favorite video games that I play are the horror survival. I wouldn't watch a horror. There's not enough money in the world to make me watch a horror movie, but I will play a horror survival video game at the drop of a hat. And so I love the Silent Hill franchise and the Resident Evil franchise. I know, it's so crazy. I'm going to be 50 this year and I still love me a good video game. How this relates to Creed is that the last video game I was actively involved in playing was Assassin's Creed, The Odyssey. And that game blew my mind. The historical accuracy. If you like video games, which I can't even imagine anybody watching this in a million years except for Thomas, hi Thomas, would enjoy Perfume videos and video games. But anyway, there it is. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the one that takes place in Greece. Oh, so good. And that's Creed Aventis For Her. The next one is Tom Ford Cafe Rose. We talked about rose and rosé and wine, and now we're going to talk about coffee. I am looking for a good coffee scent. And so I love coffee. And we have an espresso machine. And did I tell you we name everything? We named our hot tub a ridiculous name. Maybe I'll leave it. I'll tell you at the end. It's ridiculous anyway. We name everything. And so we named our espresso machine. It took us a really long time to figure out what to call it. And we eventually decided to call our espresso machine The Weeknd, as in the Canadian pop star The Weeknd. Why? Because we only ever have cappuccino on days we're not going to work. And that's usually the weekend. So there it is about Café Rose. The next one I would love to get my sniffer on is Lalique Soleil. The bottle looks beautiful. And it supposedly has notes of coffee and cream, and I want that. So the personal bit about me and Lalique Soleil isn't about me per se. It's the fact that this video came about because I reached out to somebody on Instagram who had posted a photo and said, "Have you ever purchased something strictly for the packaging?" And I responded to that person, and that person responded to me, and it prompted this video. So forever, regardless of whether I ever smell this scent or not, or whether I enjoy it or not, the idea of Lalique Soleil will forever be associated with Perfume d'Yves on Instagram. I'll leave her down below. Then there's one more, and I'm torn between talking about Kilian Black Phantom and Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. So we've already talked about Phantoms, so let's talk about Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. I want this because I love the Tom Fords that I've smelled. I have Noir pour Femme, and my husband has ombre leather, and I love both of them, and I wear his ombre leather. When I'm wearing fake leather, I wear his ombre leather. Don't tell him I said that. So the personal thing about me is that I used to worship the sun. I will put a photo in if I can find it. And yeah, I used to have a sun worshipping problem, and it's caused some issues over the years. But now I wear a sunscreen every single day. Every single day I wear a sunscreen. That big yellow ogre in the sky is not going to get me. And that's a quote I ripped directly from another YouTuber whose name it completely escapes me, and I'll put it down below. I wasn't going to take up a lot of time. I was just going to say one tiny little thing. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Perfumes d'Yves, for bringing this video into the world. Thank you to you for watching it, to the people who have been supporting me. I'm just starting out, and it's tough. It must be quite cringy to watch these, and I apologize, but it won't always be that way. It's going to get better. So thank you to my friends who leave comments and subscribe. That's so nice of you. I really appreciate it. And to perfect strangers who leave comments and subscribe, thank you. Down below, I would love to know if you would like to leave me a comment. I would love to know 10, 50, 2, 1, any number of the things that you would love to get your sniffer on. Perfumes d'Yves, consider this a list of my 10 things I would like to get my nose on. Everyone else, thank you so much for watching. And I'm Julia Graham, and this is ScentSiblingsDotC.A, and we will see you in the next one. Bye. If there's discontinuity problems, I mean, there's lots of problems. My mouth is discontinuous. It should be discontinued. If there are issues with continuity in this video, it's because I edited the snot out of it. Am I allowed to say snot? I think I'm allowed to say snot.